But yeah, so we were just talking about kind of like the business mindset, going into kind of like stress levels, law of attraction, and a few other bits to kind of touch on today.
Cool.
Oliver and Jess have been in the community for a while now, so they can kind of give you a bit of input on kind of how they've dealt with and managed things as well.
Perfect.
And we'll go from there. I'm going to jump back into a screen share. Right, yeah, so business mindset and setting up for success. There we go. So I was just talking to the guys about basically just like allowing yourself time to disconnect from the online world. What you'll find is as you get kind of like more and more involved with the CEO movement, I find that I'm always looking at my phone. I'm always checking it. I'm always like, oh, I wonder if someone's been welcomed, or if there's someone sent a message, or what's going on with my team. And my mind is always focused on that. So we were just kind of saying, like, it's really important to take time out as well. Okay. And to allow yourself that time just to think about something else. It's something I've kind of like come to light with very recently, actually. Through somebody else's Instagram post, and their Instagram post was about what is your thing. And he's an entrepreneur, he lives in Cardiff, and he was basically saying that like he's really dedicated to his business and he's really focused, but he has to have something and some time to step away from it just to clear his mind and focus on something else. So yeah, I think it's really important to have something else in your life that you can focus on. For me, when I was like full-time employed, I had that, and then like online work was kind of my thing. It was my thing away from work.
Okay.
But now it's all I do, like full-time, essentially. It's all I ever think about. So definitely when you're kind of like getting up and running, allow yourself the time to just step away. And just really kind of spend time with, I don't know, the people around you. Also on here, we've got how to respond to friends, family and loved ones about this opportunity. Ollie, you pulled a face. Come on, mate. What's on your mind?
I don't think I've had one person who has responded well to me doing this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's either a case of, this is a bad business move, we're not entrepreneurs, we don't want you to do this. Or it's a case of, oh, you're connecting with new people, I'm going to get really jealous type thing, which I've had as well.
Okay.
Which I've yet to try and resolve, I think.
What do you think that is? Do you think you're just kind of struggling with a reasoning to give them, or?
I think it's because I'm a people pleaser.
Okay, yeah.
Like, to be fair, like, obviously, by the time it came around to get affiliated, my parents had come around to it. I literally had to persist after argument and give them, like, I think once they saw me regularly on masterminds and it was clear that I was interacting with real people.
Yeah.
And I told them about like my long-term vision for it, that made it a lot easier for them. But that was probably my most difficult. That's probably been my most difficult hurdle that's still being overcome, I guess, as well.
Mm-hmm. Jess, have you found anything similar, or have you struggled with anyone or anything?
I am really, really bolshy, so not really.
Okay, that's fine.
Not really. I tend to just be far too stubborn for a lot of people anyway.
Yeah.
My partner, when I said to him, I said, I really, really want this, he went, yeah, all right then. That was him. He said, yeah, sure, fine, that's cool. So that was him.
Yeah, that's nice though.
Yeah, I mean, the only person was my dad, and I think I asked him on his thoughts, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Ponzi, that guy? He said that's what it sounded like to him. I says,
Tom, what is it? The charity scammy thing?
Oh yeah.
Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was that was it. It didn't really go much further than that. I said,
yeah.
well, if it's good for me, I'm all right with it.
And that's really good that you've got that kind of like that mindset. At the end of the day, it's your life, you're taking control of it, and it's what you want to do. Tori, I know that we've kind of been having messages back and forth the past few days about kind of speaking to your mum about it and her coming to terms with everything. And Ollie, I'm a people pleaser. Well, I'm coming out of it a little bit, maybe. Am I, Tom?
She's trying.
I'm trying.
I'm trying.
He's trying, he said. I've always been a people pleaser. I don't know what it is. It's so hard to get out of as well. But anyway, when I was joining, my mum was like, I joined up to CEO Movement. I didn't say a word to my mum because I was just like, this is really cool. I had my coaching call, and it was quite funny actually. For my for my coaching call, my mum was still at home, and I'd put like kind of like a flowery shirt on, something I'd wear normally for like drinks or something like quite smartish, and I had pajama shorts on. A little bit like now, like I've literally got like pajama trousers on. So I was sat at home with this like shirt and pajama shorts on, and my mum came upstairs. She's like, "What are you doing?" Nothing. She's like, "No, but what are you doing?" But yeah, it was after my coaching call that I actually went downstairs and I was like, look, Mum, this is what I've been looking into. This is what I really want to do. And she had her doubts, and she was just like, luckily for me at the time, one of her good friends was around as well. And she's always been into kind of like, she's always looked into water and what chemicals are in water and all these filtration things and everything. So I was like explaining the product to my mum. So her friend was here, so her friend was like, oh, it sounds well good. So she was like really up for it, and my mum was just like, not sure about this at all. And I was like, no, but Mum, it's really good. And I probably spent like the best part of a week showing her videos and like going on masterminds. Like the first mastermind I went on, I actually joined I was sat in the living room with my mum and with my little brother. So she kind of like saw that there were people talking back to me. She absolutely fell in love with Richard Barker's accent. It's from Newcastle, if you don't know Tori. So my mum was like, he sounds great. And that was it. She was sold on Richard's accent. But anyway, with kind of like people at work, that's probably where I struggled the most. And that was just because my best friend, she's a barber, and she was just like, do whatever you want, mate. And I was just like, okay. And then the only other people that I really struggled with, I didn't tell most of my family, only like my immediate family, my mum, my sister, my brother knew. I didn't tell anyone else, any aunts or uncles or anything like that, just because I knew in myself what their opinion would already be. And I was like, I don't need to fight that battle right now because I know what's going to come back at me. So when I was at work and I'd started like running Facebook ads and things, I obviously had more and more messages coming through, and I'd try and like step out the back. So I worked in retail, Tori. So I'd like try and like shuffle off the shop floor to reply to a message and like shuffle back. And I spoke to my manager about it. I think it's actually after I handed my notice in, because I handed my notice in quite quick. But I was just like, he was like, well, what are you going to do? So I told him about it, and he was just like, oh, it sounds ridiculous. And I was like, well, it doesn't. I was like, the only issue with you is because he'd been with the company for like 15 years. I was like, you don't know anything but Beaverbrooks. You don't know anything but this company, and you're happy to stay here until retirement. I said, I'm not. And yeah, he was just kind of like, he was very negative towards it. And I just stood there, and I think that was my turning point, that I literally looked at him and I went, well, that's your opinion and it's not mine. And he was just like, okay. I said, and I'm going to do it, and I'm leaving here to do it. And he was just like, okay, and just kind of like left me. And after that, I kind of like pick and choose who I tell. Even now, like if I know like, I don't know, say my best friend, for instance, she'll ask me about it. She doesn't really understand everything that we do. She doesn't understand any of it, if I'm honest. So I'll just be like, yeah, she'll be like, how's business? And I'm like, yeah, it's going good. And she's like, okay then. And that's as much detail as we go into, because she doesn't need to know anymore. She doesn't want to know anymore. So that's all that she gets. But yeah, I think one, it's just about kind of like you said, Oliver, like with your mum and dad seeing you actually interacting with people and actually being here and kind of submerged in this community, they realise that, you know what, it's actually a real thing. But yeah, it's just kind of about, one, for me, picking and choosing who you tell. Like, if you are a bit of a people pleaser and you're not as kind of like strong-minded as some others, choose your battles. Like, tell the people that are most important to you, and everyone else they can find out as and when. But yeah, you just got to stand your ground a little bit. And if it is kind of like knowledge that's stopping you from telling people or causing you kind of like to be, what's the word, unsure of how to respond to people, make sure that you guys are like literally like checking out the Enagic website. You know everything there is that you can possibly know with the science behind the products, that you know everything that's kind of CEO movement wise. And the more kind of in tune you are with the community and what we do and how it's done, the more confident you'll be in telling people about it as well. Because you'll be like, look, that's what you think happens, but this is what actually happens and this is how it works. And you can kind of like, you'll feel a little bit stronger fighting that battle for yourself then as well. So that's my kind of like my main pointers. But yeah, if you guys ever kind of like, as I say, Tori's been messaging me the past few days. But yeah, if you ever come up against anything that you're really, really struggling with, you're more than welcome to pop me a message. My mum's just screaming around the house, sorry. I don't know if you heard her. But yeah, you guys are more than welcome to kind of pop me a message and I'll help and support you the best that I can. But yeah, my main advice and tips would be just to stand your ground. If it's knowledge that's making you feel uncertain, get to grips with it. And in my opinion, pick and choose who you tell to start with. Just because, yeah, you know which battles you can fight and which are a lost cause. Right then. You guys got accountability partners yet?
Yeah, I lost mine, remember?
Oh yeah, you lost yours.
Yeah.
Jess, have you got one?
No.
Tori, do you have an accountability partner?
No,
You guys could be like a little threesome. The right sense of the word. But yeah, maybe if you guys, I don't know, if you want to personal message each other, if you wanted to team up, absolutely fine. If there's somebody else in the community that you have kind of connected with, see if they can team up with you. But basically, an accountability partner is just someone who's going to be brutally honest with you and hold you accountable to what you say you're going to do, essentially. The best things to go through are kind of like your goals, your actions, the steps you want to take within 6 months, within a year, within whatever period of time. But yeah, it's just really important to be really, really clear about your expectations and the consequences of what, if you don't take those steps, what will happen. So for instance, Tori, I know you're looking for a new job. So if you don't get a job, say one of your goals is to get a job within the next month. And if you don't get a job, the consequence of that is potentially not affiliating or not being able to pay certain payments back, etc. So that would be kind of like your consequence to not achieving that goal.
Okay.
But yeah, so the most important thing really though is that if you team up, if you get an accountability partner, if it's something that you think will work for you, it won't work for everyone. People work differently. But yeah, if you think it's something that's going to work for you, having that person that's going to kind of check in with you every now and then and make sure that you're okay. the most important thing is to be honest. So, for instance, Tori, if we were accountability partners and next week we have a meeting and I say to you, how many jobs have you applied for this week? And you go 5, but really you haven't applied for any. Like, all you're doing is lying to yourself and causing yourself to not achieve your goals. So yeah, the most important thing about having an accountability partner is just to be upfront and honest and really clear about what you want from you guys kind of teaming up and helping each other. And then, yeah, just kind of like revisit your goals, revisit your monthly strategies and things you need to go through. Probably every month, I'd say, just so that you have some time to kind of play out what you've been working on or what goals you are aiming towards. But yeah, so again, an accountability partner is completely down to you guys, whether you want to do a Zoom call with updates with each other once a week, whether you're happy just sending messages of like daily encouragements or, I don't know, every couple of days. Whatever works for you guys, that is perfectly fine. Ollie, have anything to touch on with accountability partners?
You want me to tell what happens with when I had an accountability partner roughly and how I sort of used you to resolve that problem?
You can do, if you can sum it up a little bit.
Okay, so I went through this course like the first time round that it was run, and somebody from the American team posted in the group chat and was like, I'm looking for an accountability partner. And I was like, yeah, do you want to partner up? And they were like, yeah, that's great. So we met up to set goals. We Zoom called to set goals. And by the end of the first week, they were telling me negative things about the community and about how they wish they hadn't affiliated, and just a load of stuff that really, I wasn't affiliated at the time, that really sort of put me on edge, I guess. Made me doubt a lot of things, and at that moment I didn't really know what to do. I was like, I signed up to have an accountability partner and crack out some goals, and got somebody telling me that they felt they'd been scammed, essentially. And I actually got in touch with Lily Beth and someone else in the community as well, but it was Lily Beth that helped me properly through it and just was like, what do I do about this? So she helped me through that situation and sorting it out. So I guess I would say that if you think that the accountability partner is not being beneficial to you, then don't keep it on. And if you get anybody who comes up to you, who starts talking to you negatively about the community, who's in the community, like message your coach, message somebody who can who's like further up in the community than you, who you resonate with or you feel safe with, to just talk the whole situation through. Because I think it took us about 2 or 3 days to clear that situation up, really. And initially it really shook me, and just talking to Lily Beth just helped me sort of sort that one out.
Just so, obviously, it didn't go great with your last accountability partner, but you mentioned that obviously she was a bit negative about the community, felt that she'd been scammed. Obviously, anybody catching the replay, we don't want them to think anything negative or get any negative vibes from this. However, do you want to kind of touch on anything about your accountability partner and why they were going through that situation, or kind of like where their mindset was at all?
Yeah, I think essentially they were having some difficulties following everything we're told to follow, I guess.
Was it did she have dyslexia, or?
She said she had some learning disabilities, and that it was proving difficult to I think she was having difficulty just focusing on the things she was being told to focus on, and was kind of sort of like moving all over the place and everything. And I'm not really qualified enough to help her with that sort of thing, both in terms of like learning disabilities type thing. Like, I have a learning disability, but it's a different one to the one she had. And I wasn't I wasn't affiliated up and running at that point either, so I didn't really feel like I was the person to be able to help her at that moment in time as well. And so I didn't feel like I could go any further with her, with
Mhm.
being somebody myself who was, I guess, I don't know, less experienced within the community as well. But because she was part of the American team, I didn't really know who to reach out to, because I didn't know who her coach was, and I didn't really know anyone from the American side of the community so well. So I didn't feel comfortable talking to anybody from that side. So that's why I went to Lily Beth, and that's why we sort of worked it round. And in the end, I just think it wasn't the right opportunity for her
Yeah.
and for the circumstances. But the way she was seeing it was that I guess she didn't want to take responsibility for that. In some ways, she didn't want to take responsibility for the fact that she had perhaps made a mistake and it wasn't working for her. And I also think that she was expecting results way, way too quickly.
Mhm.
Just wasn't willing. Like, she was shutting ads down after a day,
Yeah.
and she just wasn't being consistent and persevering. I
Yeah.
guess those are the two things, really. She wasn't being consistent and persevering, and was then talking negatively about everything rather than sort of taking responsibility for that, I guess. And
I think you just
I couldn't take on trying
Yeah.
to make her responsible for that or anything
Yeah.
like that.
And I think that's it, Ollie. Like, you've just hit the nail on the head there. Part of this kind of accountability slide here says just to kind of be brutally honest. And that is holding yourself accountable. It's holding your hands up and saying, look, either approaching someone and saying, I have no idea what I'm doing, I need help. Or you get yourself in such a frenzy that you're just like, this doesn't work because it's not working for me. And although it's like sometimes your own fault, like there've been times I mentioned to Tori kind of today, that I would Google and YouTube everything because I had no idea what half of the terminology meant. People would say, throw words at me and I'd be like, I have no idea what that means. Everyone would be like, yeah, what's your CPL? And I'd be like, huh? What is that? So yeah, it's just kind of like, in my opinion, if you don't know something, your coach can't help you unless you tell them that you don't know. You need to kind of reach out to your coach. You need to reach out to the people that are around you to help you. And also, you need to be accountable to yourself and just say, look, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need help. I need support. Or you need to go out and do that extra research and do that extra kind of like footwork yourself to figure it out. So yeah, touching on kind of like the accountability partners, I'd say either kind of connect with someone that are on these calls, or somebody that kind of like you've already spoke to, you already know kind of a little bit of their story or kind of where they're at in the community, someone that's kind of on the same level as you. And yeah, if ever the relationship isn't serving you both, then just part ways. It's no harm to anyone. If you'll both benefit from having somebody else as accountability partners, then it's what's best for you both and what's best for both your businesses. But yeah, if ever any of you guys like need any help again or support or anything, I am always one message away. I thought it was something. No. Right then. So a weekly call with your coach. So it could be a weekly call again, it could be a message, it could just be you checking in. This is something I personally like to do, and that's because like one of the girls on my team, Frankie, she's not going to hate me for saying this, but she's just to kind of get stuck in and get on with it, and she will just plow on and do her own thing and crack on. Perfectly fine, but I have no idea what she's up to. So like every week I'm like, Frankie, what you doing? How are you? Are you okay, hun? She's just like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. These are my ads. I'm sorted. And I'm like, okay. So like for me, it's just like I like to check in with people. I like to know where you're at. I like to know kind of like, again, if like you need any support, if you found something that really works, I want to be able to kind of like celebrate that with you guys as well. So yeah, something that's really important for me is just that you guys check in with your coaches like at least once a week. Again, whether it's via message and you just say, yeah, cracking on with module 3, I'm doing really great. Don't need you for anything yet. Just like a simple message It's kind of like a mum thing as well. It's something your mum would say, like, if you were going out, just let me know when you get there. Like, it's kind of that situation, but in a coach metaphor. But yeah, so just check in with your coaches, and whether, again, it could be an actual kind of Zoom call, it could be a phone call, it could just be a text. But yeah, just let them know how you're getting on, and if you need any help or support. Right there. Procrastination. Have we got any procrastination kings and queens here?
Just Lily Beth.
Just Lily Beth. Actually, everybody else is nodding, I'll have you know.
No, just you.
What do you guys do to tackle yourself from procrastinating? Could not get that sentence together at all.
Get yourself a friendly neighbourhood Tom.
It's not a friendly neighbourhood, Tom.
I am.
Does anybody have like do you ever sit there sometimes and know that you're procrastinating and still procrastinate? Sometimes I sit there and I'm like, I know I should be doing this, but I'm going to carry on sitting here doing this. I literally, like, I could be the queen of procrastination.
You are.
See, I already am, apparently. So I'm going to jump straight down to kind of like, how do you combat these? And for me, it's that kind of like, it's stepping back, noticing that you're actually procrastinating and you're not getting done what you should be getting done. And then, again, kind of like taking the action just to get it done. And I always find, for me, the easiest way to do this is, like, if of a morning, everyone will go out to work, and if I go into the living room and sit down and think, oh, I'll just watch one show, that's it, I'm done for the day. So I have to, like, as soon as one goes out the door, I'll go and make another cup of tea because I'm still up, and then whatever I need to do, I'll go and do it then. Like, I won't go and sit down and chill out. So that's how I tackle it. Like, this morning, I knew that I wanted to, like, crack on with some gardening. So, like, my mum left the house and I came upstairs, got my blanket, got my pillow that I could sit on the floor with, came downstairs, popped the kettle on, had the back door open already, so the dog had run out, and I was like, right, okay, so I can't sit in the living room now because my blanket and pillow's out there, the dog's run off. So for me, it's those little things. It's just like noticing at what point in your day, I don't know, you start to procrastinate the most. So I know that mine's first thing in the morning, and if I sit in the living room. So I avoid that. So yeah, tackling it head on and literally just noticing what it is. So I don't know, you guys now might sit there tomorrow and you'll be like, oh, actually, yeah, it is this sofa. Don't throw the sofa away, just don't sit on it. But yeah, I think we've got down here the reason you procrastinate is because you've got limiting beliefs or self-doubt. And again, that kind of comes into play, not necessarily when I want to make a cup of tea, but it comes into play with, like, go lives and things like that. So even today, last night I lay in bed and I was thinking away, and Tom was like, what are you thinking about? And I said, oh, I'm going to do a go live tomorrow on the 30-day group. None of you guys got a notification for a go live, did you? And instead I gardened all day, and then I had to clean up and shower, and then I didn't do my hair, so I didn't do a go live. And I have a million excuses, but either way, I didn't do a go live. So it could be that kind of like self-doubt or fear, impatience. It could just be like, I don't know, just literally not wanting to do it. But the thing is, until it's done, it's going to be on your mind. So the sooner you get it done, the better, essentially. But yeah, so whatever it is that you're procrastinating about, for me, the best process I found to kind of moving away from procrastination is noticing what causes it, or what environment makes me procrastinate more, if that makes sense. So yeah, it might be something you guys want to start like thinking about. And as I say, don't start throwing your sofas away. It's not my fault if you do. But yeah, if you need any tips or tricks, I've been through it all, so just let me know, because I'm the queen of procrastination. Right then, Ollie and Jess, pretty sure you guys are in these Facebook groups, aren't you? Tori, as soon as you kind of get affiliated and you're completely involved, there are 3 other Facebook groups they're called the Global Prosperity Movement groups, and there's 3 of them, but your coach will add you to them only when you're affiliated. But yeah, so you've got that to look forward to. We've spoke about it in bits and bobs here and there, but beware of friend requests. Not sure if you've had any nice little surprises yet, Tori, but check if they're friends with Ryan, Nate, Rob, Richard, Adam. It's usually a guy you want to check that they're friends with, just because they'll probably have about 40 friends that are girls in common from the community. But yeah, just be aware of it. You can always, as well, if someone sends you a friend request, if you're not sure who it is, maybe pop them a friendly message and be like, hi, I'm not sure that we know each other. Can I ask why you want to connect with me on Facebook? Depending on their response, you can block, delete, or ignore, or add as a friend. But yeah, so if they've only got girls in common, then I usually don't accept unless they've been welcomed into the community. That's my heads up. Yeah, have fun. Jess loves it, don't you, Jess? It's Jess's favourite part of the day. Right then, guys. Stress management. Does anyone get stressed, like particularly stressed?
Yeah. Like panic attack, waking up in the middle of the night thinking about my Facebook fan page type stress.
Oh, wow.
That's my procrastination bit. Like, go lives, that's fine, but my Facebook fan page is like, can't do this, can't do this, can't do this.
Oh, bless you. How do you deal with how do you deal with that situation, actually, Ollie? Like,
music actually find really helpful. I do have the meditation app, Calm. Yeah. No, Headspace is the one I use. The other thing that I think I've mentioned before is like doing TRE, which is that trauma release exercise thing, which I will, when I get brave enough, post a video about so that people can see the crazy thing that I do. But like, I guess the one nostril breathing, I think I told Jess about this once as well, which was
hold the nostril down.
Yeah, right nostril held down, just breathe through the left nostril, and it activates the parasympathetic, the relaxing side of the nervous system. I find that quite helpful, but music has always been my go-to thing. And then obviously if it's during the day and it's not during the night, is to talk it through with somebody is the other thing that I find very useful as well. Or to just get outside, just like remove myself from whatever is really causing a problem and to go outside. And I think the other thing I told Jess was this active, like seeking out an active way to physically change the state of your body. So like the one, and this is something I picked up when I was in like the eating disorder wards, was the one they used again and again was ice. I'm not sure why ice, but it just seemed to be really, really helpful for everybody. The other one was chewing a chili. A lot of people like to use that one. But the ice just like, it just forces you, there's no ignoring getting cold hands, like grabbing an ice block, and it physically like just changes the state of your body and gets you to focus on something else. Obviously, like if it's cold outside, if it's raining outside, I've stood outside as well, taking showers, just anything to alter the physical state of the body to try and get you to concentrate on something else.
Yeah, I think that's really important, especially kind of, as you said, just stepping away from whatever it is that's stressing you out. So if like, I don't know, if you're about to post like a Facebook ad or a fan page post, and it's just really getting to your head, it's stressing you out, just literally like leave the laptop and go to another room, make a cup of tea. That's what I'd do. Stand outside, hold some ice, whatever it is that will just take your mind off it. Yeah, it's best to just kind of like do that. You guys will find again what works best for you, but obviously a few recommendations here are to do daily meditation. That will help you just generally overall if you get quite anxious, quite stressed, quite regularly. There's apps. Ollie just mentioned Headspace. That's a meditation app as well, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I quite like that one because the first 10 days are free, and they literally just do it as like 3 or 5 minute bits, which for somebody I think starting out with meditation, 3 minutes is a really good sort of time span.
Yeah, definitely. Ollie, I don't know whether you ever watched that it's this like smile YouTube meditation that I shared with
No, I don't
some
think
people
so.
before. But that was the one that kind of like I'd use before work in the morning. It was literally on YouTube. It was 3.5 minutes, I think. Me and Tom still do it sometimes in the morning. But yeah, that's it, Ollie. Like 3.5 minutes, everybody can fit that into their day. We're not saying commit to kind of like 30 minutes. It's 3.5. So it's not that difficult to kind of squeeze in. But yeah, so there's Headspace, Calm, Breathe. I also use Meditations, it's called, and that's kind of like I used to use that loads when I used to struggle with sleeping. So it's kind of like it's a meditation to get you to sleep, and also like an alarm to wake you up in the morning. So you set 2 meditations. Are we back?
No, not just yet. I'm just chilling.
Okay, so you set 2 meditations, and yeah, they used to really help me sleep. And again, it's just that time, just like Ali said, like even waking up in your sleep a little bit stressed out, or if you're having a restless night, a meditation to get you to sleep will really help you just kind of like have that period of rest where you're not focused on everything else that's going on in life. Focused breathing, so quite similar to meditation but without the little music, or guided meditations, whatever you do. Yoga. I haven't done yoga for ages and ages and ages. So any of you guys do yoga?
Just joined David's Cullicott's
Yes.
crash course, which so far he hasn't made a call. We're meant to have already had 2 coaching calls, but he's been in the middle of moving house. But the course content that he sent out already has been really, really interesting. Really interesting. Like I probably thought it was really good to begin with from the masterminds we've had him, but like the course content he sent out in the first week has just like elevated him to like this guy totally knows what he's going on about.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I used to just do, I think her name's Adrian. She's on YouTube. She does a lot of like easy to follow yoga. I actually started yoga when I used to do running because I do it as like a warm up and a cool down. But yeah, yoga's really cool for any of you guys that don't already do it. As Ollie said, just kind of getting out into nature and just kind of like, even if you have to leave your phone at home, if messages coming to you through to your phone, or it's something to do with kind of access to the internet or anything like that, just leave your phone at home and just go for a walk, even if it's just around the block, just to clear your head. And yeah, just exercise. Yeah, those are my best tips and advices for stress management. Do you guys do anything different, or do you have any other methods? Anyone? I thought Jess was going to speak to me then, but I think I just looked up and she's eating.
I was, but then I thought it's probably not something I can probably mention on a call.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Oh dear. Right, moving on. Balance. So when I used to work in the jewelers, we used to have like these values, and one that really stuck out for me was a work-life balance. And I think it's something that I'll always kind of like believe in and strive for. And it is literally as it as it sounds, as it's saying, it's having that balance between work and your social life and being able to separate them as well. So yeah, we've just got kind of like a list of things here: work, friends and family, play/fun, vacations, creativity, music, art and writing. And it's just allowing yourself, especially if, for Jess, for instance, obviously you're working at the moment, you're doing online stuff as well. And I know you get to what was you going to say?
And university.
And university. So it's important that you kind of like find that time just to kind of chill out and have a life as well.
I don't think I have one.
That's why you still come to these calls, because you're like, there we go, this is my life.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is my fun. This is my playtime.
Well, you're always laughing and giggling, so it seems to be working just fine for you.
Exactly.
But yeah, if ever there's a time, like I say, when you go kind of like full-time online as well, when you're always so focused on it, it's important to take that time just to step away. And Jess, I know this weekend you've managed to kind of step away and have time with your family in the sun, as most of us probably have. But yeah, it's just really important just to find that balance within yourself and what works for you, and it will reduce your stress levels. Da, 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 da. Anybody have anything to touch on for law of attraction? Jess, Ollie, anything at all?
I think you've got it covered.
A little story for you. My first kind of my first encounter, I'd say, with the law of attraction was, I don't know where it is, I think it's over there. Basically, when I was working in jewellers, there was this watch that I always wanted, and pretty much every single day, if you watch anything kind of on YouTube about law of attraction and visualization, you guys will know that it says to kind of like try and put yourself in that moment and kind of like visualize yourself having that object or being in that environment, whatever it is. And every day I'd go to work and I'd try this watch on. It was basically mine, I just didn't take it home. I'd try this watch on, and every day I'd be like, oh, I really want it. And every month I'd be like, oh, next payday I'll get it, next payday I'll get it. And I never did. And probably for like 3 months I was like, I really want this watch. And everyone was like, just get it now, like you're driving us mad. And I still didn't buy it. And then one day I was at work, and all of a sudden we had a newsletter come through, and the brand Vivienne Westwood was actually doing a promotion, and there was like a collection of 5 watches out of around 50 that you could win. And the watch I always wanted was one of the ones that you could win. And I was like, oh my God. But to win this competition, it was company wide. So it was across like 67 stores. You had to sell the most Vivienne Westwood watches company wide. So hundreds of people, hundreds of staff, hundreds of sales. And although the brand's very good, it didn't sell very much, if I'm honest. But I probably sold about 3 watches. But the thing was, it went on the value of the item. So because all the watches I sold were over 300, I actually ended up winning the competition. And never in my wildest dreams did I think I was going to win the competition, because I'd only sold 3 watches. But yeah, that was probably my first experience with the law of attraction. Like, I really wanted that watch. I'd wanted it forever. And Vivienne Westwood never, ever do promotions like that. Like, it was the first promotion that they'd ever done within branches. And for that watch to be one of the 5 there to win, I was like, what is going on here? So that's probably like my first experience with the law of attraction. But if you guys, obviously, Oliver, Jess, I think you guys have heard about and looked into and learned more and more about the law of attraction. But yeah, it's basically just like what we focus on expands, and obviously your thoughts become your reality. So whenever I get a new member and they're perhaps concerned about I don't know how this is all going to go, or they're having trouble like visualizing their end goals, what they want to get to. I always try and bring them back to the law of attraction, and if they've got any kind of like negativity or any disbeliefs, I just try and tell them that obviously your thoughts become your reality. So if you think it's not going to work, then it's not going to work, because that's what you're focused on. So yeah, it's just really important when you're kind of like getting started to be as positive as you can, as kind of like invested as you can, and just believe in the system, believe that it works, and it will work. If all you're putting towards this is positive energy, then that's what you're going to get back. And also positive affirmations. So whether they are towards the business, towards yourself, and your abilities, that's where a lot of people struggle, because obviously not many people that join this community have previous marketing experience. They don't have any kind of experience working online usually, and you can get in a rut of thinking, I've never done this before, I don't know how to do it, it's not going to work. But it's really important just to be like, the system's here, it's worked for everyone else, it's going to work for me, I can do this. Working online is easy. Whatever kind of positive affirmation you can think of towards this business, towards yourself, or towards your abilities, tell yourself it over and over again, because again, positive thoughts will become a positive reality. So just focus on the positives. We recommend in the recommended reading to read The Magic. Jess, you've read The Magic? Yes.
I have.
How did you find it? You went start to finish, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Jealous. Tori, just so you know, The Magic is a book basically focused on like gratitude, and you read it every day. But yeah, basically if you miss one day in this 28-day process, you have to go back 3 days. So I read about 7 pages to start with and missed 3 days, and I was like, I've just got to start again. But Jess managed to get from start to finish without missing a day, without going back 3 days. So I said to her last time that I was super proud of her. Seeing as you went start to finish, Jess, how did you find it?
I found it good. I still have like I don't know if you saw it, an envelope full of like the little bits and pieces that you do throughout the month. Yeah. The envelope has now fallen apart. So rest its soul, but I need a new envelope or something to put my things in, because I use it that much and get it out so regularly. Mm-hmm. But I do still keep up with it, and I do I was going to say graduation diary. I'm not sure why. Yeah. That's how much I've got in there about my graduation as well, you see. My gratitude journal every day as well. And just like little things of hearing an ambulance, because it obviously talks about hearing ambulances and seeing fire engines and police cars, that you need to be grateful for them as well. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I've just heard one, I think it was it through yours? Going past yours. Yeah. And I was like, oh, just sprinkle some dust over there. Yeah. It just starts becoming like natural to you. It says that in the book, but so it's really good. I do like it. Yeah. Yeah, I live on a main route down to like the biggest hospital in Birmingham, so every time I'm like, oh my god, no, please be quiet, I'm on a video. But yeah, Tori, Jess might sound a little bit crazy on about sprinkling fairy dust on ambulances, but when you read the book you'll understand, honest. I mean, not as crazy. I usually sound a little bit crazy anyway, but it's fine. And we've also got down here Money and Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So they've got they've got a really good meditation series as well on YouTube that I quite like to listen to.
definitely worth kind of following on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anything you can find them on. Hook them up, because it's all positive and it just really helps you kind of like get out of a funk if you're in one. I'm going to move on. Vision boards. Ollie, have you done a vision board?
Not yet. I've got the stuff ready, and I've started getting stuff ready, but I haven't like actually got to the point where I've done it yet.
You're procrastinating about it. Jess, have you managed to do one?
I have also procrastinated, but I've put it in my Amazon basket for a board.
Okay, you're taking steps there.
Yeah, I can't decide which one I want. I found a really nice one that has like, it's a cork board, but it's got like the world map on it as well.
Oh yes. What's his name's got one of those? Jason?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Jason's got one from Edinburgh.
So I was kind of like, oh, that'd be good. And then I saw one of those squishy sort of like headboard ones with like the lace that goes diagonally across it, so you can slot things in and take them out rather than pinning stuff. Yeah, and then there was a scratch one as well. It wasn't a scratch and sniff. But it changes colour to say where you've been and stuff. So I was like, oh, that would be a good one as well. So if I want to travel, I can scratch at it and say where I've been. But so I just don't know which one to get.
Do you mind passing me mine? I've got, wow, it's a plain board. It's no longer plain. And I will warn you, it's a little bit crazy, but that's just because this is kind of like how my mind works. Okay. It's quite crazy though. Oh my God. I'm going to stand up because I have no idea what you guys can see right now. So in the centre it says, first in the mind and then in reality. And then I have like the Enagic logo on there. I have tar very much. So that's me being thankful. I've got the GPM in Scrabble letters down there. And then I've just got all kinds of crazy stuff. Like this is all like travel related. So I've got like worldwide, passion, Europe, Central and South America down here at the bottom. And then on this side, I have a few team photos from some of our meetups. So this is when we went to Sheffield. This is in Budapest. This is in Manchester. 6A2-2. I've got 6A2 somewhere down here. So I got all kinds of stuff on here. I've got Lily and Tom because I'm cute like that. But yeah, so this kind of like, I've got some of my friends down here. This just stays on my wall. It's something I look at every single day. Even got tango lessons on there. Don't know when that's happening. Maybe in Central or South America. We'll see. But yeah, so for me, it was just something, it was fun. It got me out of kind of like staring at a laptop. I spent pretty much, I'd like to say a few hours, but it was a whole day. Looking through, I just got like some, I popped into a travel agent's and just robbed like 4 brochures and just put everything out of there. But yeah, it was really nice just to kind of like submerge myself into like being really, really creative and just kind of like almost being childlike again and just like, I don't know, getting into it. So yeah, I wouldn't put too much kind of like pressure or emphasis on it. I just got really fun with mine, as you can see. But yeah, I think like I've got down here, define what you really want. So if you want to travel, where do you want to go? I've got down there specifically like 4 places in Europe. I've got Bali and Sri Lanka. That's where I really want to go in September this year. And then I've got like Central and South America. That's my plan for January onwards. So yeah, just kind of like really get specific with what you guys want out of kind of like, again, whether it's 6 months, whether it's a year, it's just that visualization. It's you looking at your goals, knowing what you want and working towards them. Ollie, me and you have spoke before about setting kind of like loose goals for yourself. So yeah, again, it doesn't matter kind of like the time period on them. As I said, kind of Sri Lanka and Bali for me is this year. Central and South America is next year at some point. But again, it's quite loose for me. It's just like something I'm working towards, something I really want to achieve and want to do. And yeah, don't get too stressed out about it, Ollie, because then you'll have to go for a walk. We'll have to work backwards through this slideshow. But yeah, so just find images and words that describe what you want in order to bring it into your life. And the visuals help your subconscious mind, as that works in kind of like pictures and images. So it helps your subconscious mind really kind of take in what you want to do and what your dreams, your goals, your desires are. Try and put some kind of like emotion into the vision board as well, just because your emotions are what drive you really as a person. So as I just shown you guys, I've got kind of like team pictures on there, I've got family pictures on there, I've got kind of like me and Tom on there. So that's all things that are really kind of like drilled into me emotionally, and that's going to drive me because I want to kind of like help my family. I want to go traveling with Tom. I want to kind of push and grow this community and kind of like see all you guys achieve your dreams and desires as well. So yeah, just kind of like pop that, pop as much emotion into your vision board as you can as well. Moving on to manifestations. So Tori, you've done your coaching questionnaire, haven't you? Yeah. So at the bottom of your coaching questionnaire, and there's a video in module 1 that asks you to describe your perfect day. And basically a manifestation is just really kind of like focusing on what that day is, and again, what that goal is, where you want to be, and using all of your senses to describe it. And if you read it out daily aloud, it just helps your subconscious mind believe it more. So this is my little book. Jess and Ollie, you've seen it before, but Tori, at the start of this book, I've got kind of like all of my goals and desires written down for a couple of pages. I section them off because it helps me focus my mind, but one's like health and body, one's CEO, movement, one was income, another is relationships, travel, and then personal / material things. So that's more like tech and stuff like that, stuff that I don't really need but I want. So that's where I kind of keep all of my goals and my dreams at the start, and I leave a little bit of space between them so that I can add and cross out and do whatever I need to. Then after that, in my little book, I have my daily gratitude, and it just says daily gratitude, attitude of gratitude. And then something I learned from Harriet within the community was just to kind of like allow yourself not to be really restricted by this. Like, you want to wake up and really be grateful for what you're feeling, not have to think, what am I grateful for today, and rack your brain for something. Like, you want things to come to you naturally and it to be like a flow of gratitude. So I do kind of like up to 10 things that I'm grateful for each day. I don't do specifically 10 every day because there's not every day I wake up and I'm grateful for 10 things. Especially if I haven't slept very well. So yeah, so I just kind of really loosely kind of stick to up to 10, and however I'm feeling each day, that's what I'll do. Now at the back of this little book, I've got to keep some kind of order in it somewhere. I've got my little affirmations. This kind of comes from the book I speak about all the time, You're a Badass. So my little affirmations were just to kind of like give me a little bit of a pick me up every now and then, And they are: you are powerful, you are loved, you are surrounded by miracles, you are ready, you are courageous, you are kind, you are happy, you are confident, you are beautiful, you are funny, you are bright, you are special, you are adventurous, you are an action taker, you are positive, you are more than enough, you are unique, you are connected to the universe, you are in control, you are talented, you are successful, you are grateful, and you are a badass. If you haven't read it, read it. I swear, I seriously need to be getting some like royalties from this book. And then at the back, bringing it full circle back to the manifestation. I have my, I don't even know if you guys can see this, Living the Dream, it's called. And it's basically the day I'm looking forward to. It was written 6 months in advance. What are we on now? 4 months to go. So I just kind of like update this. Really just kind of like, depending on what it is. So my very first manifestation was to leave work. So when I left work, I kind of updated it. I can't remember what my second one was. No. Yeah, so I updated it then, and at the start of this year, pretty much, I read this one. I'll read the first 2 paragraphs to you. Jess and Ollie, you've probably heard it before. You could probably read it as well as I can at this point. But it says, this morning I woke up in a beach cabin at the Jungle Beach Resort in Trincomalee, Sri Lanka. It's the 11th of September 2018, and Tom's just jumped out of bed. As I lay there and enjoy the slight ocean breeze entering the cabin, as Tom swings the cabin doors open, I roll over and look at him from across the room, and I'm smiling from ear to ear, thinking, we are here, we have done it. So just from that, you can kind of like gauge that there's emotion in there, there's direction, because I've given a date and where I want to be, what I want to kind of achieve by that date. I've said kind of like the ocean breeze is coming in, so I can feel that as well. That's one of my senses. And yeah, also kind of like what I'm thinking at the time. So this goes on for like the whole day pretty much. It ends with, this evening me and Tom go out to celebrate. We enjoy a nice private meal under the stars together. So it's like literally start to finish of the day and how I'm feeling throughout of it. But yeah, it's just, again, it's the whole kind of like positivity, thoughts become actions, which become your reality. So the more you focus on something, the more likely it is to happen. So it's definitely worth doing. If you guys ever wanted to revisit your perfect day that you've done for your coaching questionnaire, obviously Ollie and Jess, you did it a couple of months ago now, really. You can always probably message your coach. They'll be able to pull that back up for you if you can't access it. Just to kind of see as well, it was really good for me to look back on, just to see where my head was at when I first joined the community and how much I've developed since then. But yeah, if you guys can kind of like write that out, add it into your morning routine, to make sure you're reading that aloud in the morning. And again, it just gives you direction. It gives you a sense of purpose and clarity and what you're working towards. I think we might be coming to an end. Oh yeah, we have. But yeah, so that's all I've got in terms of content today. Any questions at all?
Can we have a copy of these slides?
Yeah, of course you can.
Like this and last week's would be really helpful for me, if that's possible.
Yep. I will. What I'll do is, I've got a plan. That's fine. I'll send you them. Do you want them on like a Word document, or do you want like individual photos?
No, like a Word document's fine. Just whatever format is okay for you to send them to me. Would be great.
Yep, I'll sort it out for you. Lovely. Anyone else want a copy? Oh, actually, what I'll do is I'll create the Word document and then I'll stick it in the file section.
Okay, yeah.
Then you guys can just download it as and when you please.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I'll do it for each week as well, because the slides are pretty much the same throughout. It's usually just that different people, different conversations on a call changes it up a little bit. So I will get that sorted for you guys. Don't think I've got anything else to touch on. Any questions? Anyone got anything new going on in their business or their life that they want to talk about? Ali, when are you heading home?
Friday.
Okay.
So I've taken like loads of video footage, especially with it being nice weather. I have some plans for it.
Oh.
Somewhere along the line. So yeah.
Oh, that would be good. I look forward to seeing that. I literally we went out on Saturday. Saturday we went down to Barry Island, and
It was shit.
It was we're not going back to Barry Island. However, we literally we took 2 photos and then we haven't taken any more photos throughout the weekend. I just get completely caught up in what I'm doing.
Because I was absolutely dripping with sweat for 90% of the weekend. So it wouldn't have been a very good photo opportunity.
Oh, show them your arm, Tom.
Oh.
He's got a poorly look. He's got a poorly. Yeah, we've literally ripped my mum's garden apart. She was like, I really want to do the garden. I was like, right, let's do it then. So our weekend was full of fun, wasn't it, Tom? He loved it. He was playing with a sledgehammer, so couldn't ask for more, really. Right then, guys, tomorrow we have the lovely Faye delivering some content on the UK Mastermind, so make sure you're there. I'm going to have a catch up with her maybe tomorrow afternoon to make sure I know what she's going through. But yeah, it's going to be really good content. She's going to go through the creative dynamic, I believe. So yeah, and she's got an Ace accent. It's basically Newcastle, so just turn up for that. So yeah, guys, if that's all, if you've got any more questions or anything, always welcome to pop me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Is her name actually Faye, or is it Can? Why is she Can and why is it Faye? It's another one of those confusing 2 names.
I think it's because her name is actually Faye Kankowski. Kankowski is her surname and Faye is her first name. But do you know when everybody tried to create a second Facebook profile and wanted to do all that jazz? She just decided to split her surname. So her second profile is Can, first name, Kowski, surname.
Okay.
Yeah, but her name's actually Faye.
Okay.
But you can find her on all and every profiles.
Okay.
But yeah, so lovely Faye will be with us tomorrow. If you guys ever have anything, any questions or any content you think you want to bring up on the UK Masterminds, just let me know and we'll go through it.
I won't be there tomorrow. I've got my lovely 15-hour shift.
Oh, Jess.
Oh.
Bless you.
It's always on a Wednesday.
Always. I'll do you a shout out. Shout out to Jess, the 15-hour shift. Might add some little music in for you. Oh. All right then, guys. I will catch you tomorrow.
Okay,
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.